Hello, Nia. Hello, Kenton. It's Papa again. Still day 192 since you guys were ripped from our lives. Papa wanted to talk to you today a little bit about my childhood and when I knew I wanted to become a dad. When Papa was little, his dad was not a very good person. He did a lot of things to hurt my family, to hurt my mom directly. And he was just not a good person in any way you can think of. And he was never there. And for anything. Your papa was a prop to his dad, and so were the rest of us. So when I was very little, very, very young, I remember telling myself one day I want to be a daddy. I want to be a good dad, the best that I can be, and I want to be there and be involved with my kids. And Papa did that. Along came your mom and your Auntie Ducky. They're twins. If you didn't know that, they look completely different, but they're twins. And I held them for the first time. And that's when I was like, yeah, I'm a dad. Holy crap, I'm a dad. And it was the best feeling in the world, but also the scariest. I knew what the world held for them. They're girls, they're women, they're going to be women. And that was terrifying because the world is not very hospitable to women. It's not very nice to them. And I loved them so much just from the moment I held them. And I knew this is what I was meant to do. I was meant to be a dad. And I spent my days, every free moment that I had, trying to figure out how I could do better in life, how I could make things more stable for them. How could I do that and be there? And I would sacrifice. Papa sacrificed healthcare and resting and sleeping and stuff like that. At one point when I was in New York, I worked 2 jobs, and I worked 2 shifts for one job, and I had exactly 30 minutes to get home. I had 30 minutes to get home, and I would shower, I would shove some food in my face, and I made sure that I always, when they were little, when your mommy and your Auntie Ducky were little, that you had something called skin time. So after I'd clean my shower and stuff like that, I'd take a shower and I'd rush into the living room and I'd take my shirt off and I'd pick them up and just hold them as much as I could. And I must have did that for about 6 months because I was working 16-hour days and I didn't have a car, so I had to take the subway. And it was tough, but I needed to fit that in. I needed to fit that time in so that you got your mommy and your Auntie Ducky knew that I loved them and that I was still here and I was just more than just a paycheck. And then Papa joined the army. And that was tough, but I did have a little bit more time, so we did everything we did everything that we could. I would watch all your shows with you that you guys wanted to watch. I watched every Barbie movie that there was. Every Barbie movie. I watched all of the what were the Dragon Tales, Between the Lions, everything, and we played. We played all the time. Even though Papa was tired, I played with your mom and your mom, your Auntie Ducky, and your Auntie Roro. I played with them, but I'd have to leave a lot. I'd have to leave, and it was tough. Sometimes it'd be for 30 days at a time because we were a combat unit, and Papa would have to leave. And that's all I could think, that something would happen when I was away. That something horrible would happen and I wouldn't be there. And how could I get there without being arrested? And how could I get there as fast and quick as possible? And I knew that if something did happen, it was my fault. I let it happen. Then came the tours in Iraq, and that was tough because that was a year. That was a year each time. And Papa didn't know what would happen to them, if they would be okay, if they were being taken care of. Because when I left them with your Nana, the person you're staying with now, when I came home, she just reinforced those fears. It was all about her and coffee shops and hanging out with other friends who were doing horrible things. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I was trapped. And then came time to re-up. And I looked at your Auntie Ducky and your mom, and gave him the choice. And I said, do you want your dad to stay in the army, or you want me to get out? I'm leaving the choice to you, because you're the ones that are missing a dad for a year at a time. And without skipping a beat, they both told me no. They said, we don't want you to go back, we want you to get out. And also, without skipping a beat, I let them know that I would not re-enlist. I gave up the only job that I ever truly loved, that I knew I was meant to be a soldier. And I gave it up for them because I love them. And it was tough. Papa was ready to break down when I drove off post for the last time, because I wanted to be a soldier more than anything. And I never knew that until I became one. And you think the 2 tours in Iraq would have stopped me, but no, it just fed it. I had purpose, I had meaning. But my bigger meaning, my bigger purpose was being a dad. And being involved and helping your Auntie Ducky and your Auntie Roro and your mom and Uncle Gabe later on grow into the people that they wanted to be and needed to be. Not what I envisioned for them, but what they needed to be. Then years and years later, when I was almost done with parenting, in comes this little baby, Nia. I was in my late 40s. I was almost done. And I was terrified because I didn't know how to be a grandpa. I thought grandpa was gray-haired old man. I know, grandpa's got gray hair. I get it. But what could I give you? I didn't have the energy that I had in my 30s or 20s. And Papa's put his body through hell. But the moment I held you, the moment I heard you, that was it. It all just flushed away. And I don't care how much energy I had left. All I knew was that whatever energy I did have was yours. And Kenton, you came along, and same thing. Whatever I got left in the tank was all yours. And then I knew I was meant to be a papa. I was meant to be a grandfather. I hope you find that purpose, and I hope nobody ever takes it from you. I hope you never have to give it up. I wouldn't give up our time for anything in the world. That's it. That's all Papa's got. But whatever I got left, Nia, Kenton, it's all yours. It's all yours.